Hi, welcome back to my channel. I have done this voiceover so many times, so I hope I can do it justice. Just can't seem to get it right. But this is me trying to figure out what to do for my first layout of the October Clique kit. Is using Shimelle's Glitter Girl, and there are so many lovely papers to choose from. And I really like that geometric solid triangle paper, but it just wasn't I think my photo was just too big. But I do like the stripe, but I love this stripe much better. I love the colors in this. I love the wood grain. I do love the colors. And I have my arm up there so I can visualize what it might look like, like this. And I didn't want it to be the full stripe background. I want it to have a little bit of interest. So that's why I'm trimming it down. And it gives me that little piece there for another layout, that I can use it as an accent. That way I can do 2 pages out of this one paper. This is one of the reasons why I use a lot of the solid cardstock is because I do make a lot of layouts. I make at least 30 layouts a month, and I usually only scrapbook on the weekend, so I stay pretty busy doing that. But when that creativeness comes, I can like make 5 or 6 pages in a weekend for sure. So I that's why I want to have a use a big part here and use a little remnant for another page. So I'm looking through all the die cuts. I really like this. I think it's called a funicular. It's the round one, of course, it's there on the photograph, and it's covering up the the bright part of the photo. It was a little too distracting. It was a water element that slid up in this night photo. And I'm looking at the flowers, which is usually the first thing that I look at, but I choose not to use them. And I pull some things to the side that I think I might be using for later. And I love the camera, but the camera element is a little on the small side. And of course, if there's going to be a little girl on the page, she's got to be talking. So I love the speech bubbles. I didn't think that I would be a big speech bubble person, but I absolutely love the speech bubbles. So I like somewhat the way that this looks, but everything gets changed except for the big round element that's on the photograph. So the littler girl here gets exchanged out for the headshot of the other girl. And it's so appropriate because, I have glasses, she has glasses. So we're twinsies, and it just looks better. It looks better. And if she's going to be talking, but the yellow kind of gets lost in that yellow stripe, so I need to find something else. So I choose the one that's on the sticker sheet. It is the iridescent hello, and I love the way that looks, especially with it being a night photograph. And there are so many stars. There are stars that are they're on the sticker sheet, they're in the die cut, and they're on that sheet, on that page where there is all those elements in the different colors. And I'm sorry I don't remember the name of it because at this point I've already cut all those up. I fussy cut all the elements up, so there's, oh no, 20, 30 stars at least in all different colors. But I don't use any of those for this layout, even though I might go back and put a few more in. So before I glue everything down, I must map my photo. And I just use the scrap white. And what I do is I keep my white papers in one envelope. It has my watercolor paper, the basil marshmallow, and then this is American Craft, their textured paper. And I had saved that from last year, from last fall, whenever I was making those maple leaves. All right, so everything goes back down, and of course I like the element at a diagonal. Start at the top left going to the bottom right. Now I want to make sure that my face, the center of my face is going on the line of the white cardstock and the stripe pattern paper, and I learned that from Shimelle. And that way it's, the focus is on the face. And of course, with me looking towards the center, that's why the photograph is over on the left side. And that funny little black star ended up all over the place on this page, including getting stuck behind the head of this little sticker. And then there goes the hello. That brown behind the sticker is a piece of cardboard that I use instead of, I know a lot of people use the foam. I don't like that. I don't like the foam, so I use this cardstock. And it doesn't raise it up too far, but it needed to be raised up a little bit because the round element has some depth to it. And then here goes the stars. Um, I end up pulling more stars out after I stopped videoing this. So I got some green glitter stars from the phrase sheet that we got. Um, and I think I even used more stickers. So this is the pattern, and I know I still need a camera that needs to go down on the towards the bottom right. So just trying to figure out which one, and it needs to be one that's a pretty good size because she's bigger, and I don't want to have a smaller camera. I love these. These are so fun. They have little teeny tiny silver stars inside. And I think I probably used all the stars that were in the die cut packet. And I don't have any problem gluing things down on my photograph. So I am trying to use the heart, but it just wasn't meant to be. So I use this camera. It says snap on it, and then a few more stars that kind of make my diagonal, complete. But then if you look back, I encourage you to look at my still shots afterwards. I ended up putting more stars. I put a rainbow in and more elements because it was a little too naked. I guess I was afraid to use too much, afraid I might want to use it for later. And I thought, you know what? There's always so much stuff. I've got to let it go. So I did. I ended up using more elements to put on this layout through the diagonal. So now comes the sequins. Now these sequins I get at Pretty Pink Posh, and I've had them for years. And eventually, I want to go with Jody's at Spiegelman's Scrap. I'm sorry, her whatever the shop is. I'm sorry, Jody. I'll get it. I'll remember what it is. And but eventually, I'll use her sequins as I run out of these. And I use Zot's Minuscule to put them down. And then before I was looking at some of the Shimmers products because I want to add some sprinkles, and I really wanted the yellow because I think that would be the thing that's more like starlight color, that you would be able to see. It's just deciding on which one to use. So I did get some new Shimmers products this week, and I was looking at maybe I would use some of the creamies, which is up on my upper right. And then I have this India ink that I got at Hobby Lobby, but I chose to use no yoking and cover up my photo with some packaging material and sprinkle it down. And then there ended up being a snafu. There was a big clump of something. I tried to get it up. I ended up covering up with a star. But the last thing that I do is I'm going to doodle around the edge, but I finally get smart and decide to turn the page around so I don't get my hand stuck in it. All right, well, thanks for joining me. I would love to have you as a subscriber, that's for sure. And I'll see you guys in the next video.